Welcome to Hello Live. Today we're talking about employee onboarding. How not to be so terrible at onboarding. And I hear you, Shannon, going, we're not terrible at onboarding. So a gallup study out there states that only 12% say that their company are great at onboarding. In the UK alone, 1 in 5 new hires are unlikely to recommend their company after experiencing their onboarding. Ooh, that is a sting. So, how can we not be so terrible at onboarding? First of all, what's the reasons that we are not so good at onboarding? So, onboarding, the challenges I see in companies is they see it as a tick box exercise. It's process and procedures. We must tick all these things that we need to get in place to get the person into the company and get them up to speed. Or somebody thinks it's the HR responsibility for the onboarding, and the other person thinks it's the manager's responsibility, and no one really takes hold of this to ensure that this employee gets onboarded or inducted really well. Or you just don't know how to do it correctly. So there are many reasons why onboarding doesn't get done really, really well. So what can you do? There are so many great ideas how to do that. And you must just think about what you want the employee to feel when they're going through that onboarding process. So I'm going to give you 3 tips that are away from the kind of normal stuff that is recommended on how to connect them with the purpose and vision. So first of all, only 26, a lot of facts today, only 26% of new hires are asked for feedback on their candidate journey. And that it gives you really rich information on what's working and what's not working. So get feedback about the candidate journey, but also then get feedback on about the onboarding. So remember, you are talking about when the candidate it first engages with the company right through to when that person is up at peak performance. So asking for feedback on the journey. Second, we talked about that journey right up to peak performance. A new employee can be at like 10, 20% at productivity in their first month. That increases slightly for their second month. It can take up to 12 months before they're at full peak performance. So that it takes a long time. So how can we accelerate that? So one thing that's really important to employees is of course, um, career and development, so learning and development. So addressing that in the onboarding is really good. Making a plan for what learning and development is going to happen, what development is needed over that first year, and that helps employee retention. And a great employee onboarding can improve employee retention by 82%. 82%. So, second one, making a plan for the development. And hey, let's bring that down to brass tacks. What does that mean? Before they start in the role, when you're discussing on a call with them, asking them what helps them work at their best. What are their strengths? And gathering those sort of golden information and share the golden nuggets, and then sharing that with the team they're going to be working with, and asking them to discuss that in their first meetings on how they can use that information to really accelerate this person's onboarding. So that makes the person heard, using the person's skills and their strengths straight from the very beginning. So again, asking for strengths and using that as part of the development. And third, do something a little bit personal when they're coming on the onboarding. Something like you could ask them, what is their favorite 11s or 3 p.m. treat? If it's a green tea or is it a chocolate bar, maybe produce that on the first few days to help them feel that they're welcome and cared for, and them as employee are valued. So something as simple as that can make a massive difference. So remember, great onboarding can improve retention massively. And in this day and age where we are talking about 50% of employees are considering or leaving jobs, what they're coining the great resignation at the moment, employee retention is massive. So if your onboarding process can be tweaked and improved to help that magic. So, if this resonates with you and feeds into what your bigger plans for your culture, it might be worthwhile to have a call and work out where you are now, where you want to go, so that we can see how we can support you. Or book onto our masterclass. We're doing a masterclass on the Great Resignation. Is your employee experience an asset or a liability? We're doing that on the 29th of March. Book on and come join us for that. And here's some great tips on how to improve your employee experience. Have a great day.